All right. So, wait, video, stop recording. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, afterwards I'll send you a bunch of links, and the links are going to be permissions and screenshots and videos and all that stuff. So that's not a problem. And I'll show you where the tech documents are. Now, the tech docs are quite old. I know that. The application, so let's just dive right in. If I go to software updates right here, this takes you to our blog, and this is a good page so you can see exactly what goes into Maxpanda. So every year we post all the developments. So you can see what you're purchasing today or subscribing today is going to be 100% different than it's going to be in 3 months from now. We have a lot of work still to do. November, at the end of November, these are all of these features are going into Maxpanda. The purchase order module is being redesigned, so it's going in with estimations and approval process. So a lot of people like that as well. So that would mean if the city could actually get a quote from you guys if you wanted within the system, and then you can give them the quote, and it's all managed within Maxpanda. So we're hoping to have that. We were hoping to get that into November 30th, but our clients, we send out a newsletter and we always request their advice and their ideas. So these ideas, so everything you see here are not things that we think about or dream of. These are all client requested features. So we posted everything till January. The API is gonna, we're hoping to have that live by April. So you'll be able to tie your data in real time to other software, web-based software. So not sure if that's, a big priority for you guys. A lot of clients are looking for that. So that's just one link I'll share with you, and there'll be others as well. Now, I'm on the webinar page here. I'm not sure if you went here, but this is our agenda for today. So I believe if we go through all of this, step 1 to 10, you're going to get a really, really good understanding of the application and how to implement it properly. We'll do 7, 8, 9, 10 right now. So let me just really quickly go through the subscription plans here. So everything is, you've got your free trial. So if you click free trial, you guys are signed up right now, are you not?
Yeah, I created an
account. Right. So I'm not sure which one you're at, because I get a copy of all the emails that when people register for a free trial. So your credit card will not be charged until day 16. So everyone has 2-week free trial, and that gets people to understand the application, etc. During that process, what we could do is we could actually upload all of your database information. So I'll get there in a second. So every module every subscription plan includes the same modules. So we don't hide anything from you in each one. The only difference you want to look at is how many work orders are you going to generate every month? And that includes metering types. That would be for your fleet. That includes preventive maintenance routines. So if I have a PM that says shovel the snow at building ABC on Main Street every day, Maxpanda is going to generate 30 work orders in that month. So you might obviously, you might want to start with the starter, and then you can move up. So all the plans, we don't lock you in. They're fluid. So we don't want you to start at the enterprise account. Okay, most clients will start at the enhanced or standard, depending on the size they are. And you can move up if you notice that every month you're consistently hitting over 350. Well, then you'd want to go to the pro version. Now there is a monthly subscription. You can opt out anytime, cancel your subscription, so we don't lock you in. It's a true subscription service. If you pay for the year, there's a $10 discount, so $120 off for yearly payments. So the credit card doesn't get billed off every month. Now, do you have an idea of how many work orders the city will be producing per month?
Yeah. I'm thinking it'll be anywhere between 100 and 150. So, I mean, probably,
in
Yeah, I'm thinking right now the enhanced would probably be the one. That's the one that I signed up for.
Okay, great. And that's a good account to start with. And again, if you notice that you're hitting you hit 150, just so you know, we do not push anybody to the next level automatically. I know there's software that does that. That's kind of intrusive. So you'll get an email and it'll tell you that you cannot create another work order in your account. You're maxed out. You have two choices. At that point, you can upgrade or downgrade. We don't care if you go up or down, but you can upgrade for the next month to see how you're doing. And if you're not hitting 150 over 150, then you can move down again, because we understand some periods are busy periods, some are really dead periods, right? Like the summertime could be busy, winter could be slow, opposite. We don't push you, so you have full control over that, but you will get an email notification. Now your PMs will not generate as well. So you'll get an email as PMs want to generate and send out email notifications, push notifications on the mobile apps, and they just won't generate on your desktop, on your in your account. So you'll get notifications knowing that, and at that point you can move up and down. Do you have any questions on the pricing right now?
Yeah, is there? We went through the online or the YouTube videos, and one of them had said there was like a non-for-profit discount. I don't know if that's still applicable or not.
Oh, for sure.
And what would, do you know what that would be? Well, I'm guessing as a municipality that they would qualify for it.
Yeah, because you've got your senior home in it anyway, so that's cool. And the schools might even go on board. So this is our non-for-profit. So you do get 10%, and that's at the monthly or yearly plan as well.
Okay.
So we'll take care of that. That's not a problem. We got to make sure that you're going to be a customer first, and then we'll set that up. So
yeah, I'm not worried.
We talked about the pricing plans. So now let's go talk about the import service. Now this is very important for you guys. I'm not sure if you looked at that. So that's under services, data conversion. A lot of clients come from older systems, database systems, anything. Do you have all the buildings and locations and assets and parts like somewhere electronic right now?
The only thing they really have are the facility address, the physical buildings, and they're missing their inventory list or their physical assets. So that's going to be built hopefully within over the next couple of months. Okay.
So so you have a choice. When I'm going through the application, obviously you looked at it. You can either take a laptop to the roof and add a new air conditioner or HVAC unit manually into Maxpanda by logging in, or what most clients do to get everybody going right away is you download this Excel sheet. Have you downloaded it yet?
No, I mean I saw. I know that it's there, but I have not gone through it.
Okay, so you can download it today or after the webinar, so you can see what kind of data we offer to upload. So we have to understand sites first in Maxpanda. So, but if you're running multiple sites, so a site could be, if you want to split up the senior center and the police station in two different databases, you can do that, and that is a site. And you have, I think, 10 or 15 sites. So the subscription you're buying is not just one database. It's actually 5 databases or 10. That means you can run another municipality or city or town in a totally different site. That town will not see your customer right now. So it's totally split up. But if you have all the buildings, all the locations, now location and an asset can be assigned to a building or can be independent. So a location can be a swimming pool, a baseball field, or condo unit number 1. Understood?
Yeah.
So in Maxpanda, this is what you're creating work orders towards. Everything else you see on this list, they're basically filters. Like your departments are filtering buildings. A building can be by itself, or it could have a whole bunch of locations in it. So an apartment building is the building, locations are the apartment units, 1 to 50. So all that, once you fill that Excel out, I work with you to make sure that, you know, there's no spelling errors, the data is assigned properly, like it looks good. If I like it, I'll give it to a technician. They will upload it in your database, and there's no cost to that for you. And that'll get all the buildings and locations up. And again, if you want to use the sheet later, like you said, in a couple months or 3 months, because your team is doing physical audits and collecting, you know, fire extinguishers at the senior center, setting up PMs on all these equipment and parts, you can do another sheet and we'll upload that again, or you can manually enter them one at a time. Questions about the data?
No, I think I'm good with it.
Okay, so allocating questions at the end, don't worry about that. Please, I'm gonna go through each section and I'll ask questions or see if you have questions. This way, you guys don't forget anything at the end there. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through the dashboards. I don't think I have to go into great detail, but because you do have an account, did both of you log in to see the menu?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
Is it one login or can he create a second user for the same?
It's unlimited logins. So
yeah, I'll have you set up by the end of this, Marcel, so you can log in.
Yeah. So it's unlimited. So you can actually create every user in the city as an account, but obviously you don't want to manage all these accounts, right? And I'll show you how to do the guest portal to get easy work orders into the system. Now, we're going to go through the predefined system roles so you understand, especially you, Liam, if I invite Marcel in as a supervisor, what can he see? What can he do in the system? I have a special drop-down that you don't have, and that allows me to log in as a different role. You are a company admin by default. That's the person who purchases the account that's top level, that has access to everything, and the report, especially the reports. We do have a guest portal. This guest portal is pretty cool because you don't need to have an account with you guys. Anyone who finds the link can submit a work order for your approval, rejection, cancellation, whatever. I can email, if I put my email in, I can actually reply to the email and it's tied into that work order. So this person doesn't need it to have an account. Number 3, we'll go through the menu real quick, but again, there's a lot of links, so I'll skim through it real quick. If you have questions on a module, please stop me. Today, what we really want to focus are these 3 items. What we'll do is we'll create a new work order, and it'll come in from the police station or the senior center, wherever, it doesn't matter, and we'll review the status changes. What happens during the status change from pending to closed? So just because somebody at the senior center submits a work order, says the toilet is overflowing, it's not a work order. One of you guys has to approve it, like a higher level user role has to approve it. And during that approval process, you're obviously going to assign it to somebody, you know, to get work order notified on their mobiles, etc., or email. Then it's completed. There's a whole bunch of steps in between. You can reject it later or whatever. But at the end, you also have to close it after it's completed. So there's certain people that can close and approve work orders. We'll go through that. Then after those daily fires work orders, we'll review the preventive maintenance work order system, the module with the task library. Now the task library is going to make you guys look really good because you can, instead of just creating generic PMs like, I don't know, change the filter on the HVAC on top of City Hall, you can actually create your digital task, a task, and that's in your task library. And it could be assigned to that PM, and your staff have to complete certain tasks. So it's above and beyond things that you want your staff or subcontractor to complete during the completion of that work order or PM. Those tasks can be assigned to any new submitted work order or a PM or a metering type work order, like I'll explain later. So number 6, we'll run a couple of reports. You can see the module, how easy it is. It's literally 3 clicks. All you need is a start date, an end date, and then refresh the page. We have 20 pre-built reports. There's a lot of new functionality to the reports with new filters coming on at the end of November. You can download your reports in any type, 8 different formats. So you can hand them over to the city, and you know, as a text file, they can import it into a BI tool or accounting package, whatever. So we talked about 7910 already. Do you have any questions for me before I begin?
Question like on the guests there. If we've got a bunch of people submitting work orders, does that count towards the monthly total, or is it not until it's approved does it count?
No, not when it's pending. A pending work order, you can reject it. Just like my dashboard here, you can see this one's rejected. So if you're rejecting work orders, we don't charge you for that. That doesn't make sense, right? It's all approved, completed, and closed work orders.
Okay.
So we're looking at approved work orders. Now, keep in mind, PMs automatically approve, right? So there's no, even if you cancel them, they were approved automatically. Due to your schedule. So I don't know if you guys did any test, or I guess Marcel, you didn't, but did you do a test work order, Liam?
No, because I wasn't sure about, I built the buildings, but I didn't put in any assets or locations.
Did you create a work order though, like submit a new work order to test it out?
No, not yet.
Okay. What you guys are looking at now is 120 work orders on my dashboard. I am going to be the company administrator. By the way, you can see my screen, right? Like perfectly? Yes. Okay, yes. Good. Marcel, you too?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to be the company admin here. You guys don't have this drop down. It's only for webinars and training purposes. So the company admin is the top level permissions. We're going to go through the other ones later on. So what you're looking at here is I'm managing 120 work orders, but if I click on the status button here, the big blue one, you'll notice I'm only viewing certain statuses. So everyone has the status filtering. I'll give you an example. The University of Florida creates and has PMs over 20,000 work orders every month. They've got 5,000 locations around the state of Florida. So managing, 20,000 work orders on your dashboard, you do not want to see closed work orders when you're logging in. So right now what I did is I want to see all my closed work orders, and you can see I'm at 840. I'm only going to show 10 at a time. This is a sticky note, so if I keep it at 25, every time I log in, desktop or mobile, it's going to show me my latest 25 work orders by status. But I don't care. Once a work order is closed, I don't really want to see it on my dashboard. And that happens at all of the links in the menu items there. So I'm going to hide my closed work orders. The work orders cannot be deleted ever. Your data sits on Amazon Web Services. So there is no backup. There is no, we back up your data every day or month or whatever. It's automatically created to the cloud, and you cannot delete a work order after it's created. So this is a very good handy tool. So what you're looking at here is, I'll just keep it as the 10 work orders here, and you have filters using the top by grouping work orders together, and all live filters at the bottom. I'll show you the live filter in a second. This is the work order ID number. This is the work order title. Now a PM is going to be obviously the same work order title. This is a PM here, but somebody here, this is a work order. Somebody logged in, submitted, click the submit button here, submit work order, a new work order here, or add button. So whatever terminology you like to use, that person logged in and clicked one of those buttons and created a work order request, but somebody rejected it. Now the work order title, whatever they type in, very important with Maxpanda. If you download our mobile app, and why wouldn't you? It's free. You're going to have a pop-up notification. You're going to have those bubbles in iOS and the push notifications in Androids, and that's the text that's going to show. You click it, it'll take you right to the work order in your mobile application, our mobile app, which is called GoMax Mobile. You're also going to receive an email. So the administrator receives an email by default on everything. So the email will say there's a new work order that was submitted, like this one here, it's still pending. And that's the text. That becomes the hyperlink in your email. So once somebody creates a work order, you're gonna have that in your email. So you're never stuck at the desktop or in your office. So even though if you're running, if you have email on your phone, you can click this link and again, Maxpanda will take you to the work order. So we have 3 types of work orders that you can filter. We have your work orders. So these are the ones that people are submitting. These, we call them day-to-day fires, right? Like these will be the ones that are coming in from the police station, the different buildings and from your client, which is the city. You can also filter your PMs. These are automatically created. Now I've got 18 active PMs right now. One has been rejected. So don't worry about, these are all just test PMs, etc. But we also help you manage metering type work orders. Now I don't have any metering types active right now. Metering type you can set up for fleet, for metering, recording, production levels, anything. So there's triggers that you set up as an administrator, and that's all done in the company tab. I'll show you that later. So everything gets automatically, a QR code automatically generated for it. So the location, the part, the asset. You don't have to create it. It's automatically done by the application. If you want to set up a meter type like on your fleet, every 2,000 miles you want to do an oil change on the Ford trucks, you would create a metering type on that piece of asset, which is the Ford F-150. You can print the QR code, paste it in the visor, and anyone who drives that truck can simply scan the QR code, update the meter, which would be the miles or odometers, depending on what your settings are. And if it hits that 2,000 mark, it will automatically create a work order for you. So there's 3 types of work orders that you can manage in Maxpanda. A reference ID, it's just an open field in the work order. We do store it in your database. So if somebody does put in 1, 2, 3 here, you will be able to report on it in the 20 different reports that are set up. Now we have a priority module here. In your account, Liam, you saw low, medium, high, urgent. But again, as the company administrator, you have access to the company tab. You can create different ones here. Now, these are the ones that I've created differently. And this one here is quite an aggressive one. This SLA 15-minute, if one of my clients or customers submits a new work order and selects that one, I have a trigger set up that it's going to email Marcel every 5 minutes to approve that pending work order. So it's almost like a super emergency level work order. I also have a 3-hour due date on it. So I don't know if I have any SLA 15. Oh, I do have one. So switch not working. This work has to be completed in 3 hours or it's going to become overdue. Now, this is just a dummy account, so it's not overdue. Category, same thing. You'll have your basic ones, but you can expand. So just in a nutshell, every dropdown you're going to see in this webinar is customized by the administrator. Now, these are great because you can filter, you can group them together, you can report on similar work order categories, etc. We talked about these. These are all color-coded, the work orders. Live search for your due dates. Here's an example here for a live search. I'm showing 120 work orders right now for the statuses I want. You never press enter in Maxpanda, you just start typing. So here's Steve here. Now, I just did a live search. You see how fast it is. Out of those 120, Steve is assigned to 8 of them. Now, he's completed most of them. Of course, he's a superstar. One has been reopened, so maybe he's working on it. And I can edit to see who reopened it or what's the problem there, etc. If I take Steve out of there, we're going to go back to our view all screen. I can do filter by department, building, or asset location search. These represent attachments. So these ones, somebody uploaded an attachment. Now, an attachment can be anything. It could be an Office doc. It could even be an email Outlook message file. It could be a voice message as well. So we allow you to put in audio like MP3 or WAV files. This represents how many times the work order has been printed. So if you are printing, which is very simple, just use the checkboxes. So if I can go like this, out of those 120, I just want to print these 10 and click print. Maxpanda will print you the full page work order. And if there's tasks involved, we'll print all the tasks as well. Everything will be printed. If you just want this short heading information for a quick meeting related to these 10 work orders, just do a CSV file or copy and paste or screen print. This will edit any one of these work orders. We'll edit a work order shortly. Now, again, if I select, let's say these two here, the first two, you have multi-complete, multi-close capabilities, and that's only available to the administrator, supervisor, etc. Any questions on this dashboard so far?
No.
No.
Excellent. So who can see what now? I am an administrator. That gives me full capability to go to the View All screen. That means I am seeing every work order in Maxpanda's headquarters site. You have one site right now, I believe, but if you notice, I'm managing multiple sites. Brent has 5 sites out of Montana. Those are his. And as a company admin, I can go to New York, for example. This is a totally different database. It has totally different buildings, users, etc. The work orders are different. It's a totally different database, and notice the logo changes, etc. Will you be adding all of the buildings under one site, or are you thinking of breaking up your account into different sites?
I'm thinking for this first wave, it would be one site, but they do have also, like an airport, they have a museum, they have other like enterprise type funds that would be, if and when those come online, they would probably be a different site. But for the first pass, it's going to be one site.
Okay. So what you have to take into consideration is, for your public guest portal, if I worked at the police station and I submitted a work order using the guest portal, do you want me to see buildings that are not police related? Like, is it okay for me to see the senior center building and all of the locations in there?
For this, yes, it would be okay.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then you are correct. You would be using one site for all the 6 buildings that you mentioned earlier. Just wanted to understand a little bit better. Great.
I'm glad you brought that up. So,
yeah, actually, I don't know if guests can create work orders. The question is, would somebody at the, and this is for Liam, is there anything that shouldn't, is there any reason why the police station should be aside for any reason, security reasons? I don't know that. That's a question for them. And for you, Steve, the question is, if we're having it in multiple sites, let's say that for whatever reason the station has to be to the side as its own site because it can't have visibility for people not directly working with it, is when you do the reporting, can you consolidate multiple sites into the same reporting and still get a full report for the multiple sites, or do you have to pull them separately and then consolidate them manually?
No, either or. So we'll go through the reports at the end. Remember our 1 to 7 or 1 to 6 to-do list. Yeah. So you can do reports by site. So again, I have, I think, 11 or 12 sites in this demo account. So I can do a report on New York only. I can actually do a report and look at all my roofing costs in the New York database. So I can go down to the location level. I can pick a building in New York and just New York, or I can do all of these together and it'll break them up.
Okay.
Okay. So what were we talking? Oh, and actually, once we get to the guest portal, I think you guys will understand the permissions a little bit better, because I understand anytime the police is involved, they like to hide their locations and buildings and especially work orders. So the guest person who submits work orders, they don't see what you're looking at here. They don't have a list of all the work orders, you know, in your account. It's very permission based, and we'll get to that in a minute. So company admin has access to everything. That would be you two gentlemen as an example. So view all, it takes me to my default site, which is Maxpanda headquarters. I like to showcase that because it's got a good PM I want to showcase and show you. Company work orders, if I click that link, it's going to show me a list of all the work orders in every site. Okay, so if you want to look at your whole portfolio at once, fantastic. At that point, you can download or print them all, or do whatever you want with them, sort them, because they'll have a site link there. So there's a bunch of links here that we don't need to go through all of them right now, but you'll notice here I've got my work orders. So this link here is whatever I submitted. Now, if I have an account in Maxpanda, and it could be any one of these accounts except viewer, I will have a database of all the work orders that I have submitted. Okay, so as a let's say a nurse at the senior center, I submitted 82 work orders in the system, but that's all I can see. I will not have view all work orders in your account access, and I'll show you that in a minute. My to-do list would be any staff or vendor. That's the default entry point for them. This is what they've been assigned to, right? So as a staff person, this has been assigned to me. It's been reopened because I guess somebody needs more towels. So I'm going to stay here. That's the top role. The company admin can only see the reports. So only company administrators can actually run these 20 reports, 3 dedicated to parts, etc. To answer your question, Marcel, there's the company work order summary. This company is all your sites together, but if you just want to do one work order summary report, it would be in the site you're in. So you can go from site to site and generate different ones, or do a company report on everything. So all the other ones here related. The company administrator has access to the company tab. This is where you set up your departments if you want to filter buildings by department. So we'll explain that in a minute. Your location types, asset type, work order category, your priority, the priorities. So everything all on the drop downs that you saw there. Your metering type for fleets, custom work order labels for submitting work orders, etc. Now we have a second in command role here for the Maxpanda account, and that would be the editor. That's your company editor. This person can do everything the company admin can do, but you'll notice the reports are gone. There's no reporting capability. So I cannot download any hard data, but I can go from site to site because I have view all for the headquarters site, but I can go to other sites as well, just to manage work orders and people, etc. And under the company tab, I can only do a couple of things. I can't do everything that the admin can do. Now we have site admin, site editor. Those two roles, they mimic the top roles, but they can be assigned to one or multiple sites. So I could be the site administrator in New York because I need to be able to download reports. But in Australia, I could be a supervisor. So like a different permission set altogether. And we have 4 types of staff roles. These are your internal maintenance staff. And can I ask how many staff you guys manage right now?
The staff, the immediate staff is just going to be 3 that are going to start. There's if we expand this out to fleet and to streets, it'll jump up to 10. So it's not a lot of people that we're talking about.
So 3 is the, like, under your payroll, not the city, right?
Oh, actually with us, there's actually 6.
Perfect. So you're 6, you would, the people that are going to be actually doing the work and being assigned to the work, let me just get rid of rejected, there's 4 types of people you can invite into your account. So there's staff, limited, unlimited, and then supervisors. So the difference here is the staff roles, including the vendor, that's your subcontractors, they can only complete work orders. So they can only make them orange. The supervisors, we allow them to close the work orders. So do a final close on it. Same with the admins and editors. They can close off the work order at the end. So if you notice, with Maxpanda, we kind of have a pre-approval and a post-approval process. On the mobile app, it's literally a click of a button, so it's very, very quick. Let's start at the bottom for staff limited. This person cannot view all the work orders in your account, okay? I am right now a staff limited person, and I'm only assigned, well, actually I'm assigned to all sites, but let's pretend I'm only assigned to Maxpanda headquarters. And you'll notice there's no view all. I can create new work orders for Liam to approve. While I'm on site somewhere, I can just create a work order on my iPhone. You'll notice the calendar, it says my calendar. So I will only see work orders that you've assigned to me as a staff limited. The staff unlimited role, your 6 staff now, they do have access to view all screen. Now it takes them to my to-do list automatically, but I can go here and I can say, oh, you know what? Here's a fleet work order. It's pending. I'm going to assign myself to it. So again, how Maxpanda will fit your business requirements. Again, these 2 staff can only complete work orders, make them orange. The supervisors will close them off. The only difference between these roles here is the unlimited role. We give them access to create PMs, whereas the limited role does not have access to the PM library and the task library. The next level down is your submitter role. This is an important role. This is the person submitting work orders for you to approve. So this, as an example, could be the administrative staff at the police station. It could be the secretary at the city hall. It could be a nurse at the senior center. Having the ability to have a login as a submitter gives me the ability to have a database, a historical database. Now, here's something cool with Maxpanda. If this is the person at the police station, you'll notice I have multiple locations here in this account, but you can actually assign this police person as a submitter to one building. So let's say the high school gym. So when I log in, I can only submit work orders to the high school gym, or in this case, it would be the police station's building. Would that be valuable to you?
Yeah, that could be valuable. We could allow, since the police station houses the most employees.
Yeah.
To actually have a couple of people who are there all day have access to it. That could be useful. Yeah.
Or you could just create a 6 submitter roles, like 6 different ones, and assign and just hand them off to one to the police station, like 1 per building. Whatever you guys think of, Maxpanda will do for you. If you don't want to manage these user roles, which you really don't, all you need is an email address to invite people in. I'll show you that in a minute. But if you don't, then you just set up the guest portal, and all 6 buildings and people in it, like doesn't matter who it is, can just submit a work order. So we have a tenant, that's the same role as a submitter. It really just, how do you want to invite people in? We have a view only role. This person cannot submit work orders in your account. If you add them to any work order, they can view it. You'll notice here it's not an edit, it's a view only, and the work order is all grayed out. Now, the vendors are you using subcontractors at all?
We are. I don't know if we. Yeah, I'd like to know about this, but I think initially we would not grant them.
No problem. What you could do is invite them in with an email as a vendor limited. This vendor limited company can do two things. When they log in, notice that again, there's no submit button. So they can't submit work orders into your account. So you can control that. The system takes them right to their to-do list. So you assign a company called or vendor contractor to a work order, it would be on their list here. So they're almost like your staff. They do have a list of overdue work orders that they have not completed. So as a vendor, I have not completed 517 work orders. Again, this is a dummy account. Now, once you trust your contractor a little bit more, you can push them to move them up to a vendor unlimited. This role now, you see they have a couple extra links, but we allow them to submit a work order. So an example would be if you have a contractor for a roofing company that does filter changes on HVAC machines for you, you can set up a PM, every 3 months, 6 months. But what if they notice that the other HVAC, on the east wing of the building is making noise? They can actually take a video or take a picture and submit a new work order for you to approve. And you don't need to be, on the roof to approve this. You could be in your office. You can approve it, assign them to the work order. They can complete the work before they even leave the roof of that building. So again, that's the difference between the two roles there. Now, all of these roles have to be invited. And to answer your question, Marcel, yes, you can have 2 administrators, 1 admin, or 1 million. There is no limits of users in Maxpanda. So how do you bring in people? Well, you go into your staff user account, and this is what you're going to do after the webinar, I believe, Liam, and you're going to click on Invite a User. Very simply, you're going to put in Marcel's email address here, and if you have 6 Marcels or 6 Steves for staff, you would go like so. So these are all my maintenance staff. I will assign the roles to each one of them. I can do it one at a time or all of them at the same time. So I'm going to say these guys are all my supervisors, and they actually work in the Australia company, sub-company site. If I click invite, each one of these people will get an invitation, an email. They click it and they will register their own username and password. So this is my profile here. So they handle that. So I've got a username, password, display name. I can use Maxpanda in different languages. So if there are Spanish speaking people, French, etc. So this is built into the application. Every user can opt out of the emails. Now this is important because in every work order created, when the notes and comments are updated, there's an email sent out to whoever's assigned to it, created it, etc. Right? Now that might get a little bit onerous, especially for you guys if you're company administrators. So you might want to uncheck that, right? So you have, every user has that capability. Also, if I go to my user list, I've got a bunch of people here. This is a test one here. These are active people, okay? This is a test Steve account. Steve is an administrator in everything except the IT department. He's only a staff unlimited. So you can see you can mix and match people there. You can assign assets to people, so you know that Steven is in charge of those 6 trucks, and that's great for historical purposes. Any attachments like HR documents at Steve's level. But if you go to the site permission and we look at Maxpanda HQ, he has an hourly rate, so he is a staff person here. If I edit his permissions, this is where you can move people up and down. So if you make a mistake, like Steve is a staff limited and he shouldn't be, you want to give him a supervisor role, you can update his permission anytime. you can pre-assign people to a work category. So if Steve's only your, let's say, plumbing department, so you only want Steve to see plumbing work orders, you can do that. Now, by default, Steve will only see those, but the filter will, on the desktop, will allow me to look at other ones as well. And you can do multiples, right? You can assign me to a department. So I've got 3 departments in this account. So I can maybe you only want me to see roof inspections related in the IT department, which kind of doesn't make sense. You could assign me to a building in the IT department. Notice that filters it. Or an actual location, so room 101. What that's going to do is every time I submit a work order in the system, this is the default. And also the view all is my default there. End of November, we are allowing our customers, you guys, to assign multiple IT departments multiple departments and multiple buildings per user in Maxpanda. So that's coming for December 1st. Any questions on the user roles?
No.
Now, guest services. I have 12 sites. Each site has its own guest portal. So if this was the police station, this is the link I would give to the police station. I'm in Maxpanda HQ. This is my guest portal here. The guest portal has 2 accordions. The first one is the customization of the form. So if you don't want everyone in the 6 buildings to look at the locations or assets, to have an option to select those, you can hide those. But I'm showing everything right now. You do need a code word, and it'll put it at the end of your link. So what happens now is you can actually copy this link. That's my guest portal link. Email it to all of your clients, basically everyone who's going to submit work orders, or paste it on your website as a hyperlink, and that's where they click it. If I click this link on site, it would have your logo here, and this form would show up. So every site, different title, etc. I'm allowing people to upload files or audio or attachments. I am allowing people to select what building they're in. So I can go M13 building, first floor. And assets. I've got a Ford F-150. So I'm creating a location and an asset work order as an example. So did you have any questions on the guest portal?
No, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Did you see the QR code created?
Okay, and it'll be the same QR code if I print it today or a month from now?
Yes, unless you change this.
Okay.
So if I go like this, demo 1, and I save it, you have to go back and reprint your guest portal.
Okay, because I guess where I'm going with that is, like, if we were to do fleet or other assets, the QR code, is that going to be the same for the life of that?
No, this is only for guest portal. This QR code cannot be read by our scanner, like the built-in mobile with
Okay.
GoMax. This can only be scanned by any free QR code reader, like Android QR or whatever, right? Like on iTunes and Android app. So basically, if you had this pasted all over the police station, I got arrested, I pull up my phone and I could scan this and submit a work order. So it's an open, it needs open one. If you look at my assets here, let's go to my asset list here. These are a bunch of equipment that I have in this account, right? So let's see here. Here's an HVAC unit. So I'm gonna open this HVAC unit. A piece of equipment has 7 accordions. So you'll notice we have the QR code and a web link. So if I click this one here, this pertains only to this HVAC unit. And again, I can print it with the text or not. So just for you to know, the asset has the name and the tag. So this unit was tagged CO36, and you can hide that if you want. So our customers, they'll print the vinyl or metal plates of these things and stick them onto the units, and that's permanent. So as long as you don't change the name after you create it, it's going to be the same QR code forever, permanent. So this could be a truck, for example, right, to scan it. And then add your metering types on it, like your triggers, etc. So we'll get there in a second. At this point, guys, we spent a lot of time just overviewing the menu. Let's go ahead and create a new work order so you can see what happens. So I'm a person at the police station. You've given me a login, so I'm going to click Submit Work Order. Can you give me one of the, a popular work order requests that you get right now from any one of the buildings? It doesn't have to be the police station.
It'll be carpet repair.
Carpet?
Yeah, torn carpet.
So this is what they would type in. Again, this is going to be your pop-ups, your email links, all that notification, and you'll see it on your view all screen. I'm going to copy just to paste it. Now, if, let's say the senior center or the police have a certain reference ID, like for accounting purposes, they could put in, AC45 or whatever, that stores it. Category, I don't know if I have carpet repair, but I do have a category called repair. And again, you could create as many as you want. So I'll just keep repair. What would be the due date on this? What would somebody at the police station say, hey, Liam, you need this we need this done by?
I'd say low. Within the week, it would be fine.
Okay. Short description, I'm going to copy paste. Now the notes is continuous. It goes on, they can continuously add notes to it. Now, when I go like this, if I was a sergeant at the police station and I open this work order up again and I added, hey, Liam, where are you guys? Like this. This is going to be red in your emails, like the text color will be red. So you'll know exactly what the sergeant actually added to this work order. And then afterwards, it'll be black. So it alternates. The first part will be black. Add CC, the sergeant can actually copy Steve on this work order. I'll just get a small brief email with the work request. So we do have external. This person does not have to have an account with Maxpanda. Department, you can break up your buildings by department or by filter by all the buildings. So, excuse me, if I was at the M3, let's do a school here. Let's say it was at a hotel and the carpet, because hotel carpets go at the lobby. So you'll notice I filtered now, I picked the building through, and then I selected the location with the building. So we'll show you the building and then the room type. So it's the lobby. So or you will know, the lobby in the Sunset Hotel has been torn. If there was an equipment selected to this location or this building, there is a laptop, but in this case, you're not telling me it's a asset work order. In this case, it's a location work order. Now, the submitter cannot change this stuff. I'm only showing you this because I am logged in as an administrator. You can opt this on or off by default. I can take a picture of the torn carpet, so you will know exactly where in the lobby I'm talking about. I will submit this work order. So now two things are happening as your customer, the manager at the hotel, submitted a work order. And we'll start from the beginning again. We don't need to go into the work order. Two things happen. Number one, you just logged in and you saw there's a new pending work order for you to approve. Now, anybody above a supervisor role can approve the work order, staff unlimited role can approve this work order. So if I was your repair carpet guy, I would open it up and assign myself to it. You got notifications. All the company administrators received an email. So everyone's going to be alerted that there's a new work order. We're going to edit this work order. And now I'm going to pretend I am Marcel. So Marcel, you're going to assign this work order to somebody, right? So you review it. Now you cannot wait 7 days. You want to tell your staff that you're escalating this job to 3 days. Now the priority is hidden from the submitter after they submit the work order. So even though you put, 21 days, they don't see that. So we're going to escalate it by 3 days. Maybe you're just going to go and put some duct tape under whatever. At this point, you can actually, you notice that one-page work order? It's 7 different pages of info to capture. So Maxpanda can be as simple as approving the work order and moving on and completing it to filling out all history related to this job. We're going to do an in-depth one today. You can reject this work order. You can put in, forget it. This text will stay in your status history. That's only for company admins to see the status history here. So we keep a footprint and a status history. We're not going to reject it today. We will approve it shortly. On your mobile app.
Hey, Liam. Sorry, 1 second. Liam, I got to jump off. I got an 11 o'clock call.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll follow up
I'll
with
call
you
you
later.
and yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks. It was nice meeting you, Steve.
Yeah, nice meeting you. You'll have the video anyway, so you can review it later.
Yep, I will.
Very good.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
So you want to approve this work order now, Lee. You have the notes of your customer, what they put in. You have a private notes section, which is only visible from staff and up. So basically your maintenance department. Submitters and tenants, vendors don't see the private notes. So in here you can put, take care or whatever you want to put in there. The comments is where the vendor or your staff would enter comments. That is communicated back to the notes, the submitter. So there's total communication from notes and comments. More info to fill out. This is all automated. You do not have to touch this. You'll notice here it's a week. We are escalating it to 3 days. You don't need to touch anything. Everything is done through the status buttons here. We are going to collect total hours from your internal staff. We see who created it. So this is the manager at the hotel. You can upload files. You know where you're going. Here's your vendor list. Now, I have 100 vendors in this account, but at the hotel, I only assign vendors to ABC Company. I don't have their phone number because they are preferred vendor. So you have preferred vendor management assigned to one or multiple buildings. Here's your task module. So if I click on add new task, it comes from here, which I created already. If I click on this task.
Sorry, I'm not seeing the mouse right now.
Oh, is it free?
I'm seeing it. You're on the notes. Carpet is.
Oh. Let me know. It's just your internet, maybe.
Okay, that could be.
Is it refreshed now?
Okay, you're on the private notes. I just saw that.
Oh, I think I'm moving too fast for the internet.
Okay. It was it could potentially be the internet. It was all going really good until just about a minute ago.
Oh, that's weird.
I guess, because what I didn't see is like where you would the vendor, so you could assign a vendor on here, and if there was an estimated, or if we knew the vendor did something a little extra and they're going to charge 20, or if they're going to assign they could actually attach their invoice or to this.
Yeah, there's an invoice piece here. Because you have the attachment module, there's also a new invoice. But are you seeing the screen right now? Like I'm on the invoice piece.
I'm seeing the status history right now, where you got ABC Company Preferred. Oh,
yeah, it's a little bit slow, eh? Yeah, the ABC Company is the vendor from my list of vendors I selected. So I'm assigning this work order to the vendor directly. So they're going to get a email and a new work order assigned to their to-do list in their account. Once again, that's only if you invite that vendor company as to be part of your account.
Okay.
When I add new tasks, do you see the pop-up that just appeared?
Where I am right now is went back to vendors. Going down to, you're on the task right now.
Yeah, and there's a pop-up, the yellow bar.
Yep, I'm seeing that now.
Perfect. So these are your predefined checklists or tasks that you want completed, and whether they're part of the O&M manual procedure or something that you want your vendor to complete before they actually complete the work order, you predefine them and you can add them to any work order or PM at any time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a full checklist as for one, and I'm also going to add another one called roof inspection. So I've added two tasks, and every one of these tasks, as an example, if I edit the roof inspection report so you can see what it looks like, let me know if you don't see it.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, perfect. So this is this I created, I don't know, about 8-9 years ago. So every time somebody goes on the roof of this building, I want them to report on the roof by giving me an inspection. And this is done on their mobile application, on their mobile app. So they have to complete this, like so, save their task details if they want to complete the work order. They can't complete it, and you can't even close the work order unless tasks are completed. You can assign a different staff person or a different vendor at the task level. And down here, if you notice, these are the details that Steve created and wants captured. So the type of details you can create are numbers, letters, dates with time, and checkboxes. So if you do have a certain checklist or final procedures you want done, like, hey, clean up the area before you leave the building, you would want to add those as tasks. So any questions on the task?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, this has been very, very helpful so far. Excellent.
So the task, I'm deleting them because I don't want to spend time checking them all off today. Each task can have one checkbox or 1 million. It's up to you how many you have. So here's my part module now. I can create a new part and add it to the inventory, or add a new part from my inventory on the fly. So this is all my parts in the inventory, and we'll keep your quantity on hand. You can create mobile parts, so those trucks, if you're moving parts from the warehouse to the trucks, you can have a bin set up. This bin name is just called 99. Where is it? It's at the closet. So you can have mobile inventory. That's not a problem. All the inventory can be scanned in using barcodes, and we have the barcode scanner built into our mobile app again. There is no other hardware required. So if I want to add, let's say, this oil cartridge, I don't know what it is, and an air filter. So I'm adding 2 parts to this work order here, and my staff would put how many they used on their mobile app right here, and we'll control the levels, minimum quantities, and costs. The next piece is the staff portal. So you have 6 staff, they're going to have names here. So I'm going to assign this work order by clicking add staff for Maxwell, maintenance department, and Jimmy. So I'm going to assign 3 guys to this work order, a vendor to the work order, to finish completing and fixing the carpet. Now for internal staff, we will capture their active weekly hours and their total active hours. So for example, if Jimmy can't work more than 30 hours a week, and this says 25, you might not want to add him to this work order. On the mobile app, they would put in how many hours and minutes they worked on it. We'll do that in a second. Here's the invoice part. You can create a new invoice on the fly, or add one from the history or from your database in here. So if it was Home Depot charged you $373 to fix the carpet, you can add that cost, and that'll be for history forever for that location. Work order attachments, nobody added anything. Company attachments, there was nothing added to any location, like that lobby, there's no pictures, etc. So from now, I'm just going to click approve work order. And what I'm doing now is I'm actually moving the work order from pending status to approved. Everybody assigned to the work order just received an email and a push notification if they're using the mobile app. And you'll notice here's the new work order here. This counts for your monthly work order. And I'm going to edit now this work order. Just let me know if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, and I'll slow down.
Yeah, I'm pretty far back. I'm still seeing, Yeah, my screen hasn't moved for a little bit, but
Okay.
but on the video, I mean, the video will be real time.
Yeah, yeah, and you could fast forward.
Okay, yeah. Now I've got it live. I can see the mouse move.
Okay,
So,
good. Excellent. So this is the work order that we just created. Remember, it's 7 pages now. It's approved. You'll notice as an admin, I have 5 statuses here. I can put the work order on hold. I can put it back to in progress. Maybe I was waiting for parts to arrive, or a new carpet that's coming in from China. Once the part is arrived, I can put it back to in progress. We will store that information, how long it took, how long it was placed on hold, in progress, etc. Your staff would not be able to close this work order or cancel it. They would see the 3 buttons. They would be complete the work order or put it on hold. Now, before we complete and close this work order, let's move down here. Remember those tasks? I deleted them. We don't have time to check them all off. Parts, yeah. Let's say we used 4 of these and 4 of these. So each one of these parts has a cost to it. So if it's $100, we're capturing almost $800 of internal part management inventory costs. Our staff on their mobile app put in how long they worked. So Jimmy worked 2.5 hours. I'm just random time, right? 9:30. So we're going to capture total cost per user, per work order, and labor costs, and active weekly hours. This total hour feature was actually requested by the entire state of Arizona. So if you think your account is large with 6 buildings, think of all the public buildings in Arizona. Invoice, we are capturing external invoice costs from a vendor at Home Depot. Maybe you bought the carpet, like new carpet there, or some supplies, and nobody uploaded any pictures, docs, etc. So at this point, I'm going to skip the completed part. Just to save time, we're just going to close it off right now. So I'll pretend I'm you. You could put in great job, etc. That note will go into the status history, again, only for private notes, and I'll press OK. So once again, because we're changing the status of the work order, the color changes, people get notified. So that sergeant, or sorry, that manager at the hotel received an email when you completed it. It'll say, great news, work order number 2000 has been completed. These are auto-generated. Now you'll notice your work order disappeared because I'm hiding closed work orders, remember? So if I click on view all closed, here it is here. Carpet is torn, it is closed. Liam, any questions on that day-to-day life cycle of a work order?
No, I think I'm good with that.
Okay, so let's run a report or two. A very popular report would be the Sla Export, and I'm going to click there. And as you can see, all you need is a start date and an end date for a report. So maybe you just want to look at the cost for this site, which would be all the buildings, for basically the summertime. So I went from, where did I go? From July 1st till September 1st. I'm going to show the header, and I'm going to run a refresh the report. Instantly, I just generated a 6-page report, which I can download in Excel, PDF, CSV, PNG, whatever. I can print 1 page or the whole 6 pages. Now, actually, you know what? Let's add more time, and let's add till November 23rd. Now I have 13 pages because we went from July till the end of November. And can you see this work order right here?
Yes, I can.
So this is the one we did today. Remember, it was on the 22nd. So yeah. This report is good because you could save the data anytime you want. You know, different formats, but it focuses on 2 things. It focuses on service level agreement, basically time and cost of every work order in your account. So your carpet torn at the hotel was created at this time, and you'll notice our database, or your database, it timestamps it to the second. It is closed. When did we approve it? Start date. Now remember the planned due date. you initially wanted, or sorry, the manager initially wanted it done in 7 days, but you escalated it to 3 days. So our due date was escalated to 3 days, and we met that due date. We did not put it to on hold or complete it. We went right to close. Now moving over, more details regarding, excuse me, the work order itself. And at the end, we'll capture the total hours, labor cost, parts cost, invoice, that external, and total cost per work order. So I'm not sure if that's valuable information. So that's just one report. We have 20 different reports. We don't have time to go through all of them, but the asset report is a good one. Asset report, you can do your reports by department. Remember, I have 3 departments. By building, by location, so even a back lane, I can see all the costs related to this back lane in some town, or the actual individual piece of equipment. So if I look at this air handler unit, a laptop, just random stuff, and a riding lawnmower, I want to know the costs of those 3 pieces of equipment from August till today, run the report, and Maxpanda will split up your report by the asset, green headers, download the data in 8 formats. But more importantly, if you look at the air handler unit, we purchased this HVAC unit for $5,600 in 2010. It has had 14 work orders, but only in the time frame I selected, which was August till today. Right. In that time only, we spent $21,000. So I think it's time to replace this unit. It has had 14 work orders, etc. The riding lawnmower has had no work orders at all. So again, valuable information per work order and total at the end. That is only 2 work orders. We have threshold reporting, your labor reports, 3 dedicated to parts management, and how many work orders are being submitted by each submitter in your account. Do you want me to run any specific report right now, or?
No, that's good, because what I'll end up doing is putting in some data and going through them.
Awesome. So the last thing I want to show you is your PMs. PMs have 5 pages, different pages, in order to get to a PM. You can create a boilerplate. Boilerplate it's just a scratch pad to put your ideas down and get your PM template started. Once you have a template, you can share that from site to site. So if you have, if Marcel ends up creating a bunch of PMs in the Maxpanda headquarters, he can share them or with New York site, or New York can pull them in because they're templates. But if I look at my active PMs right now, here's one that's dedicated to a HVAC unit. It's active right now, so let's edit this one. Now, a PM has 5 accordions. The first piece is the details of your PM that you create. So I'm calling this one Ream HVAC Inspection. Ream makes the 5-ton air handler unit. Every time this PM generates a work order, I'm putting a 5-day due date on it. On day 6, it becomes red, overdue. I will get an email, and so will the staff, to have a quick meeting of why they're becoming overdue. If you don't want to type up all your PMs, copy and paste them from an O&M manual, add them as files. They'll always show up and they'll be attached in every work order. So here's some attachments that I have. I have a procedure diagram PDF file that's going to help my staff understand how to change the filter, how to clean the coils, check the compressor of this unit. I also have a safety checklist for insurance and health purposes. Now here's the schedule up here. A PM for an air handler unit should be, changing the filter, let's say, every first Monday of every 3 months. So this PM is going to generate 1 work order on the first Monday of every 3 months, or you can do weekly, bi-weekly, yearly, whatever permutation you can think of. You can have a no end date, or if you want, you can actually go every 3 months times 4. So that's a year contract with somebody. After that, the PM stops. I have 5 tasks with a whole bunch of checklists to complete every work order that will generate from this PM. I showed you the attachments, and here's your history now of all the work orders that this PM created. So you could go back to April 2015, edit the work order and see who worked on it, what did we do, etc. But we'll also show you the future scheduled work orders from this PM. So November 26th, there's another work order that's going to generate automatically. So again, not sure if that's healthy or helpful for you to see the future stuff. The future work orders, sorry?
No, that is helpful.
Right. So each PM shows you that, but you have a link here called Future Work Orders. Once you create your PMs, this will show you what work orders are coming up in your world in real time. So you can go ahead and edit and manipulate that work order to fit your schedule. A better way to do that is managing it by the calendar. So the calendar has full filter capabilities for your fleet, work orders, PMs, print all the work orders, etc. But if you minimize this is my world in November. The calendar is fantastic. It's drag and drop. So let's look at, what are we today? November 22. You'll notice here on Friday, this Friday, I have a change the pool filter work order, PM. It's blue. That's, remember the future ones. They're all down here, the legend.
Yeah.
So what if this is assigned to Liam? Now, this one's not assigned to anybody. You can't see the name, but if this was assigned to you, Liam, and I know you're leaving on Thursday for holidays, what I can do is I can move this work order to Thursday or Friday, like tomorrow, and I can reschedule it, and it'll automatically notify and update everybody, depending on what you're drag and dropping. This is a 7-day work order, and I can minimize the time again, or drag and drop, whatever I want. So total resource management. I can look at the weekly view. This will allow me to manipulate work orders or move them around in minute-based work orders, like half an hour settings or hour. Up here are my all-day work orders, basically due at midnight at a certain day. Any questions on the calendar at all?
No.
All right. I think I threw a lot of information your way. I didn't stop for some questions. I think I'll give you a few minutes to see if you have any outstanding questions right now.
Just on the buildings, is there an in-service date on the buildings? And if you go, I saw the assets has where you can place an in-service date.
Yeah.
But for if you open up the buildings, are there additional tabs at the bottom of that?
Wait, did you say in service or so? I don't understand.
Or a building has been commissioned, so they build a building. They have a brand new building. It opens up its doors January 1st, 2010.
Yeah.
So just I didn't know if there was anything in there where we could track like the age of the facility, the actual, I guess, envelope. Like I know the HVAC has, you could say you put a new HVAC in a year ago, a new water heater in 2 years ago. Is there just somewhere to track the age of the building?
No, there isn't there, but you're not the first one to ask about that. But if you go to, once you create a building and you have locations within that building, I'll just open up any building or any location, doesn't matter. So once you create a building, you need a location in it, because you cannot create work orders to a building. It has to be to a location. So this location couldn't be called buildings, the main building, right? Yeah. Location type, it's a building. It's not a condo unit. Building category, you could select where this location is. So the building could be, again, Lee would be to Lee, etc. You can put a description here, a lot of information, but you can attach those documents that you talked about. So any documentation here. Here you would put commissioned 2017 March, etc., and all files attached to it. Any files here are permanently attached. Address, and then, yeah. So here's an attachment here, the Lee building, etc. But whatever you upload, remember, it's permanent, right? The locations have their QR codes as well. So what gets QR coded is the building, location, asset, part, and that's it. So everything, all of those, plus a web link as well. So if you have private documents regarding that commissioning process, you can add a web link, and this, like a link, www, goes to your website, like your internal servers, or a Google map, whatever you want. Okay. So if I look at that asset, if we edit that piece of equipment that we looked at the PM regarding the, what was it, that air handler unit, this is the PM we had on, this is the asset information, right? So this is the asset here, all the information you want to put in, et cetera, more details. You can pre-assign parts to the asset. These will always show up automatically. Every time a work order is created on the air handler unit, you can set up metering types. You can have your attachments. These will always show up in every work order. So these are this is company data. So what filters do we use? Where is this thing plotted? So if I click it, it takes me to exactly in Google Street View or Maps, whatever you want. A YouTube video that will show me how to change the filter, whatever you want. The QR code, and there's those web links here that you can add.
Okay, no, that's really good. Yeah. I guess, just the kind of the final question, or two questions.
Sure.
What are, like, so how, if I'm trying to, like, they've got departments, they've got locations, they've got 3-4 different segments to their chart of account. What have been, like, some other users other than, like, the reference ID? Are there placeholders where we could, like, put in, like, a segment of the general ledger account number? I mean,
yeah, that would be the reference ID, and you can change this name. So under company tab, you'll notice custom work labels. I don't know if you did. So see reference ID, like we're actually adding the whole form is going to be customized.
Okay.
You have to get that?
No, that's another line.
No problem. So I can put in here general ledger. If I save it, it's going to change. Yeah, it'll change it. I just like to keep the default so customers know what they're looking at. Yeah. And it also changes it on the guest portal as well. You said you had 2 questions?
Then the other, is like, I saw, like, you had, and you mentioned the state of Arizona. Would there be at some point, like, just a reference, like, that I don't need one, but the city of DeKalb, once we're presented, that maybe something on their checklist is just a customer reference at some point.
I'm going to send you actually a link that we don't share online, and I won't show it here. It's our client link. It lists a bunch of clients in different industries, so you'll see state of Arizona's there. And I know the IT manager who's taking care of the entire account. Again, they're doing close to, I don't know, 2,000 work orders weekly, like insane amount. Anyway, so references are not a problem. They're not a problem at all.
Well, and actually, there's just one other thing that I just mentioned briefly was if they were to go to try to do fleet with this, would that be just would that be a cat set up as a category?
What do you mean, Cat? No, it's built in. Like all metering types are different.
Oh, okay. So that would be the fleets. Okay, so the trucks and
MT is called a metering, so you could simply filter that way. But for categories, when people select a category, I created fleet in my account here, and you could just. This is only for you to filter by category. So
Okay.
like roof inspection doesn't come in Maxpanda, but I have one, right? I have a setting. So this is what people can see when they submit a work order, right? This is by default. You get all 3 modules by default with Maxpanda.
Okay, this looks fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to be setting up their data, and probably within the next week or two presenting this to them. So I would say shortly after that is so.
Perfect. You need to go to this page here, download. I'm going to email you this link, and I'm not sure if I have Marcel's email, but you can forward it, the email to him. This link goes, you simply download the Excel sheet. It's zipped up, unzip it, make few copies so you don't have to, just in case you make mistakes. But once you fill all this out, again, you don't have the asset and part information, but you do have address, one site, billings, and then location. So once you download it, you got questions, let me know. I'll help you through that. That's, I'm not a salesperson. I'm here to help. And again, continuously, not just for this week, right? Forever. So I'll send you a bunch of links, including with that client portal as well. And if you have questions, let me know.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I'll send you the video for today.